Awesome. So let's go to the next step over here where we're going to talk about the new presentation visuals. Right. So what is new is that now we have new animations for you to show your building sequence, right? So you can apply the construction and demolition visuals where you can show geometries growing or geometry shrinking, right? And this has some new user interface over here for you to work with and so on and so forth, right? So with those, you can go ahead and let's say, for example, that I'm going to create a, let me just like refresh this edit for the split over here because I don't want that to be applied to this view. So this is going to refresh my screen. Give me one quick second and we'll be able to start again. But basically what it does is now I already covered like in previous sessions the presentation mode, the presentation view, sorry, where you can apply the change of color in between milestones to the geometries that are connected to specific stages. But now you can also apply that growth and shrink visual, right? So let's work with the demolition first, right? So if I hide this building over here and I go into and check my building that's going to be demolished, I select this guy from my timeline, and I'll set all of this geometry to be gone at this stage, right? So this is going to be our last milestone where I see the demolition happening, or that I see this geometry. So when I go to the next milestone, that geometry is not there anymore, right? So I want to show this instead of like in my presentation view, instead of like having them going all like out, vanishing at once, I can now apply this. Sorry, give me 1 second over here so I can disconnect these elements from the timeline. There you go. So if I go into this demo building, I can now apply this new presentation visuals, right? So another tab over here where you can apply an animation type. So this animation type will refer either to new construction or demolition. So new construction means that every time that a new geometry shows up in your presentation, the animation will be applied. Demolition is when the part is removed from the view that a new animation is going to be applied. So as you can see, we have the highlight color where this part will be a highlight. All of these parts will be highlighted in red once they're being removed. And I can define what is going to be the type of animation that I want, right? So for demolition, we have the shrinking animation, and I want this animation to show it like going from the top down to like on my presentation. And I don't want to show this per element. I want to show this as a whole model because I'm demolishing the whole building, right? So once I apply this, as you can see over here, all the parts that are selected, the 1,000 and something objects that are selected now have this presentation visuals applied to them. So what it means is that if I go into my presentation slides and I play this from the beginning, I will see the steps of construction, right? When I can see like all of those elements showing up, and then that like animation showing like the objects going down. Let me do that again because it can be a little bit quick. And also like a quick tip about this is that whenever you have like slides that shows that presentation happening, like the growth and all of that, the timing for how long it will take is defined over here on your slide duration settings, okay? So if you want this to show like slowly, you can improve, like you can increase the timing of that slide. And if you want to show it quickly, you can do like a quick slide. So when I go and hit play, we will see that presentation going again with the removal of like these parts coming top down, right? So from here, you can add the resources that would show like that would show that you're using for your demolition and so on and so forth. Cool. So for new construction, we're gonna do a similar thing, but for new construction, we're gonna start like working with a lot of different elements, right? So different ways in which these elements will show up in my view. So for example, whenever let's say that I want to do my concrete footies, right? So if I go in my selection set over here, I can go and open this, and then I will have my foundation. So I want my foundation to show up in this milestone. So I'm going to set it to begin at this milestone. And I want this to have a specific presentation visual that will be related to new construction. So new construction means that like when these parts will show up, they will be highlighted in green and have this animation applied to it. So I don't want these foundation parts to grow from the bottom up because I want to show this the direction of my pouring. So I can change this and make it grow sideways. So when I grow it sideways, I can also define what is going to be the angle in which this growth will happen. And again, if I want to show every individual element or the whole model the whole group of parts that I'm selected over here. So I want these parts to grow from the left to the right, right? So it's already showing that. But if I want to change the angle, I can like move this around, or I can move this over here, right? To show what is going to be the direction in which these parts will grow on my view. So when I hit done, I will see now those parts growing, right? So if I go back into my presentation slide, and I'm gonna play from the last slide just to be a little bit quicker. So I'm gonna play from this current slide, and when I hit play, you will see the growth animation of those parts going sideways, right? So this is an interesting thing because it increases that kind of like understanding of how things will happen on your presentation, in your kind of like execution. So let's go now and do like the P1 verticals. So if I, again, on my selection sets, I will select the P1 verticals over here. And these guys, I will set up for them to start at this milestone. And the presentation visuals that I want for them is going to be going from bottom up because these are vertical elements, right? So I like to show a whole model because it kind of like gives a better sense of like how these are going. But if you want to show that with like per individual part as well, it's good. Like it's up to you. And I'm going to set up this slide to be a little bit longer so we can see that presentation going in that fashion. So let me do that for the previous slide as well. And when I play from this slide, we will see that same presentation happening over there. Cool. And the next one, look, the next one was quite quick. I believe like there is a part of the geometry over here that's hidden. That's why it's not showing over there. But you get the idea. This is how you will kind of like improve the quality of your presentations by setting up those different views. Great.
And
Any
then add a
questions, Nika?
communication tool as well, right? Because you can show, for example, the direction that you're erecting your steel from rather than having to like sequence it one by one to show that direction. We do have a couple of questions around, do the animations apply to massing models or to imported
Not yet.
FBX or drone models?
Oh, FBX and drone models. I believe the drone models, yes, in FBX as well, but not massing. So only for imported models. Right? And again, if that's an improvement that you would like to see in the presentation, just go ahead and put a feature request, please.